Welcome to a new video on the NEGAYO channel. Theories, predictions, movies and summaries have preceded the explanation of the first part of the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
I have many questions.
The truth is that the story is quite confusing at the beginning, especially if you don't follow comics closely or weren't caught up on the entire Tomorrowverse. Or if you're one of those people who are on their phone while the movie is on the television. Don't do that, folks. In this short video, I explain the reason for that confusing plot. I also tell you my opinion of this adaptation and share some theories of what we might see in the sequel. The preview for the second part of the Crisis has been released, which I'll discuss in a future video. So subscribe and turn on notifications to stay informed. Why did Flash frequently time travel between the past and future throughout the movie? Was it caused by magic? Well, yes, a wizard literally did it, but it's also something that was explained in the story. Chronologically, the mysterious Wanderer is supposed to have first affected Barry when the Justice League was just beginning to form. We're discussing the scene involving Hal Jordan. Constantine sends Barry Allen to Earth 3, aware that this world was doomed to be destroyed. Flash recognizes the Vagabond when he reappears.
I remember seeing you in my world. I walked through all the worlds. That they are doomed is my punishment.
Since this universe was doomed to be destroyed, well, it happens, it gets destroyed. But the Speed Force that gave Johnny Quick his powers was absorbed by our Barry Allen, overloading him with energy and causing these involuntary trips through different times of his life once he returns to Earth 1. Constantine consistently guides him through his travels between the past, present and future. This is quite interesting in my opinion, and we will discuss it shortly. Now the next question is, why does Barry Allen specifically return to these times in his life? To the confrontation with Amazo? To his moments with Iris? And why was he sent to Earth? 3. The answer is simple because that's what John Constantine wanted. Son. End of discussion. Well, in fact, there are two reasons why the plot was written this way. The first reason is that we know a lot of time passes between one Tomorrowverse movie and the next. Is it the case of how the heroes met? The formation of the Justice League. Hal Jordan. So this story is made to connect some of those points that were up in the air. For example, we already see that as such, Hal Jordan never belonged to the team, at least not from the beginning. So it makes more sense that they didn't find out about his death, as they weren't as in touch as we imagine. The second reason why the story was written this way serves to focus on Barry's mission at the end of the movie. That is to travel to Earth 3 before its destruction and absorb the Speed Force. It allowed him to relive crucial moments in his life, providing salvation during the crisis, as exemplified by Mazo. It's been years since they defeated him. If it weren't for the resurrection of those memories, would Barry have taken it into account when stopping time? The same goes for the trip to Earth 3. After the crime syndicate's demise, Flash realized the threat couldn't be fought with brute force. What about Iris West? Well, she's the person he spent the rest of his life with. It's for her for whom he stops time and also for whom he manages to finish the tower that would save the multiverse. All the memories served a purpose to some degree, except maybe the visit from Bruce and Dick Grayson. That was more of a context for us about the Robin of Earth 2. Now, since it has been made clear that reviving these moments was not a coincidence, it is very important that we take into account the mastermind behind these events. The mysterious vagabond, better pointed out by me as John Constantine. After Apocalypse War and the House of Mystery, it continued in the same manner. On the channel, we theorized about the possibility that the strange vagabond who appeared in Green Lantern Fear My Power was none other than the Sorcerer, paying his sentence for having forced Flash to cause a new reboot. It's more than clear that it's the same character, although some still refuse to believe it. But I don't know what else they want me to do to prove it. Do they need his identification or his name written on his forehead or something? I don't know. The point is that this character has evolved since his appearance in Green Lantern. Do you remember he was about to be killed while screaming about the end of the world? Well, now he's back and seems to be more aware of who he is and his actions, although he still can't remember what he did to be punished and walk on the worlds that are destined for their destruction. My recommendation is that we should keep a close eye on Constantine. For me, it's more than clear that he's slowly heating up the plan of his life. From what I remember, it's no coincidence what he did with Flash. It was all to stop the crisis. So it won't be a surprise to keep seeing him in the second and third part of this trilogy, putting the pieces of this puzzle together. And keep going with that. Yes, the guy is doomed to immortality and suffering. But if you know anything about John Constantine, you know that won't stop him and he will accept whatever price he has to pay. To stop the antimatter or to die, it seems that at this point in his existence, either option is good for him. Thanks to this movie, now it's clearer why this universe will be so short and will end this 2024 once the crisis is over. At the start of the story, when we see Flash running through destroyed worlds, it appears he was coming directly from the events of Apocalypse War. So the Tomorrowverse is an extension of this disappeared universe. It's clear that everything is more connected than ever. Regarding Barry Allen's end, I believe there are still surprises in store for us. And even though the Spectre mentions that his end is near, we still haven't seen him die. The Spectre's words also, I believe, will be very important for what's to come. That phrase about going back to before the beginning. They might be referring to a Flashpoint event, possibly from the Apocalypse War, or the one that started the events in Flashpoint Paradox. I'm not sure, but both answers seem correct for now. Thanks to the antimatter quickly attacking the heroes while they were building the towers, it has been hinted that the presence of the Anti-Monitor is imminent. We've already had some animated lands from the multiverse that have been officially classified for the first time, so by the end of the trilogy, the list will surely be increasing. As for the movie overall, I liked it. Despite being a loose adaptation, the comics feature similar events, characters, and minimal dialogues as seen in this version. In case you thought the original story is better, let's say that both have their pros and cons. In addition, the Tomorrowverse has a very limited amount of time to close all the arcs of this universe. That being said, there's no way to compare both mediums, say what you will. The original Crisis on Infinite Earths is iconic, a before and after in the history of comics in general. I doubt this trilogy will be a benchmark for animation, especially since the multiverse theme is very overdone currently. Which is a real shame. If only this animated Crisis had come about 10 years ago, when Detective Comics animation was at its peak, well, who knows what would have happened. In my opinion, it's a decent and exciting movie, but not the best Detective Comics animation, but it holds up better than Warworld. Legion of Superheroes and Green Lantern, which was somewhat disappointing in my view. I know there are still many questions to answer, so leave your comments below the video to see if we can continue to clarify some doubts, like the reason for the disappearance of the Legion of Superheroes. A big question for which we still have to wait to know the definitive answer. Share your opinion, and remember you help me a lot to keep growing, leaving your respective like and comment if you like this little analysis. Soon we'll also discuss the sequel's progress and the possibility of seeing other animated universes. Stay tuned for new content. Thanks for stopping by, folks. I'm Alex from the NEGAYO channel. See you later.